ED, I have a couple sayings on my show, which I believe are tried and true, and some of them are playing out today. Like, for example, Hugh Freeze calling an escort service. I have the saying where there are no more secrets, only facts yet to be revealed. Right? It's really hard to keep a secret nowadays because there's some way of tracking it.
Well, I don't have my cell phone, but let me tell you, you can get tracked doing anything these days. I mean, you really can, and I hate to say it's good and it's bad. Because I think when I look at this situation with the coach at Ole Miss is that, I mean, they just got some phone calls. It's just some calls, isn't it? Supposedly went on, but I think it's more to this story than just some calls.
I don't think there's any doubt. I mean, they're under NCAA investigation. There's also apparently he had some off-the-record conversations with newspaper writers trying to put much of the blame on the previous coaching staff. The previous head coach is suing the university and naming him. And then this comes out. Plus, he purports himself as somebody who's, a holier-than-thou, Bible-following head coach with Bible verses in his Twitter account. And that, of course, brings him down. I bring it up, though, because another saying I have is you can't fool players.
No.
Like, you can fool front office guys, and you can definitely fool people in the media, and you can fool fans, but you can't fool a player. A player knows if another player can play, right?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, so you know quarterbacks, you know players.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Goff, can he play? The size says it all, right? Like I hate you didn't answer.
I'm going to answer the question.
I'm sorry.
Give me a second.
I apologize.
I got to work it in.
Okay.
I'll say this much here. Last year he didn't have a chance because of the offense. The offense was terrible. I mean, the offense looked like a high school offense. The offensive line was not good last year. I don't think the offensive scheme was good. The offensive coordinator was not good. So this year, I think you have to give him a shot. But for me, my guy that I would start the season with would be Sean Mannion. And I've been saying that.
Why didn't they give him an opportunity last year?
I've been saying that since last year. Give him a shot. You drafted him. He was great at, where did he go to school? Oregon State. Oregon State.
Playing in a pro-style
system. Playing a pro-style offense. He's a big guy, got a great arm. Matter of fact, I was at practice early last year before I got kicked out the sidelines. And I was standing next to some of the guys. I said, man, he can throw that. He said, Eric, he can throw it. He said, he really can throw it. I said, why they won't play him? He said, the money, And a lot of it has to do with we got a number one draft pick. We got all this money into.
Well, and Case had been there previously, had won some games, and so I guess Fisher was going to ride and die. I don't understand why they turned it over to Goff instead of turning it over to Mannion and still redshirting Goff last year.
Look, it's all about winning football games.
Right.
People want to blame me for Jeff Fisher getting fired. I did Jeff Fisher a favor. He get $10 million and got a coach. I mean, I'd take that job. I'd fire me. Look. When you win, that situation would never been there. And I think you had a better chance of winning, with Sean Mannion. I think even this year, they should start with Sean Mannion. But I'm not, I don't make that call.
It's just hard when you're the number one pick. Like, I understand you're right, but the reality of it. All right, so McVay, super young guy, right? Like I'm not sure he was even alive when you played. Like he's that is a young dude. Like he's popping zits while he's calling plays. Your initial impressions of him in terms of having more of a 2017 playbook as opposed to, as you described, the high school offense of last year.
I like Coach McVay, young guy. Says all the right things. Gets you all fired up. But I don't think the Rams have enough firepower. They don't have enough talent. We don't have a real number one receiver. That offensive line, we're really unsure about the offensive line. And we just got rid of, an offensive line they thought, that was a bust, was Greg Robinson, which I really think that if they'd have put the time into him. Matter of fact, I talked to Jackie Slater yesterday. Yesterday and 2 days ago. He said, Eric, you're not going to believe what I'm doing. I'm coaching Greg Robinson now. I'm working with him. The Lions asked me to do it, and he wanted me to do it. And I've been saying from the beginning that would have helped him a lot. But I just don't see this football team winning more than 4 games. And I want my team to win. Don't get me wrong. I don't like saying that. I would love to see us go 10-6, 11-5, but I don't see more than 4 games when you look at that schedule.
As a guy we mentioned Le'Veon Bell before you joined us as how he's going to sign the franchise tender. He wants a long-term contract. Look, there's been a change with the exception of Obviously, Todd Gurley was the 10th pick. You have Ezekiel Elliott, who was picked in the top 5. With a couple exceptions, the value of running backs has diminished greatly since, especially when you were a player. I mean, you were known. Now you're known by your quarterback. Back when you played, you were known by your running back. You had your team. Walter Payton had his team. Even Roger Craig with the Niners. That was a passing team, but Roger Craig, high knees, running style. Everybody had their running back. Will we ever see that as that ship sailed, or will we ever see that come back to fruition?
I think it'll come back. I think everything goes in cycles after a while. When I came into the National Football League, I think one of the Sports Illustrated covers is like the rush is back because they had kind of stopped running the football. I think when you have the backs that can really carry the load, like when you see a Zeke. Or you see Le'Veon Bell, you run the football. Those guys, they can run the football. Every team doesn't have a real back. Some guys are third down backs, some guys are scat backs, or they try to rotate. I hate that rotating system. But, you cannot ever not have a running back on the field. I mean, the one thing about the NFL now, it has become 7-on-7. You can't touch the receiver. You can't get out. They can get off the line very free. So,
but that's the point, though, Eric. Like all the rules they've changed to help the offense have been to help the passing game. Whereas inside the tackles and the running back, they haven't changed any of the rules. So I guess the question is, why would, unless there's some sort of rule change to where you can't hit a running back below the knees, or there's something I can't think of a way in which they can reinvigorate the running game.
Well, what happened is that the offensive lines get better. You'll have. First of all, you have to have the back. Every guy, because he plays running back, I mean, he's a real running back. Right. He just played a position.
But they don't run the ball in college anymore either. They run the spread.
Yeah, I mean, but still, I mean, I look at LSU over there. With
Leonard Fournette.
Leonard Fournette.
Yep.
I mean, he ran the ball. The running game will never go away. It works hand in hand. I still believe the better football teams can run the football and throw it. I mean, because it's a two-headed snake. Now, if you're the Patriots with that system, that's a different system. I mean, it's almost like watching the 49ers in the West Coast offense back in the 80s.
And they use Edelman and they use Welker before, and they also use Rob Gronkowski as guys that are surefire, and that's almost like the running game.
That's almost like the running game.
Yeah, Eric Dickerson. Of course, you can hear this football season with Fred Rogan, Rodney Peete on AM 570. I believe at some point he may be searching with O.J. Simpson on a golf course for the real killers.
Who knows?
I really appreciate it. It's an honor to catch up with you, and I really appreciate you joining us.